They're not the kind of guys you bring home to mom. KROQ.
106.7 KROQ is KROQ FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles. About 7 minutes after 6.
Can we please not talk about Jay Leno anymore?
Sure.
Jeez.
I was just reading the story so I would be up to speed.
So who's on tonight?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Ah, woo. Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
How was the long weekend?
It was fine. How did you do?
Fabulous.
You did?
Had a great time. I didn't win tons of dough, but
you won?
Came back in the plus,
Oh,
which
that's
is
good.
always good. And I believe that had I bet on who would win more money going to Vegas, perhaps that I would be collecting today. So my winnings will actually go up, which will be
I
good.
see.
Check this out. Big 2-page USA Today monster advertisement in the middle of life section of the cities that Jay Leno has performed in the last 5 years. Over 500 cities and the dates where he performed.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
And at the top it says, from now on, Jay will be performing in your town every night.
Every night, right. I guess he took over the Tonight Show. Is that true?
It was a rumor
Did
just
you guys
last week.
hear anything else? Well, where's that other guy with the white hair? What happened to him? I liked that guy.
Did you do your marathon thing?
I did. I watched Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I cut it out. I don't have it in front of me, but there's one a cable system somewhere in this great land of ours that lost their cable 15 minutes into the final Tonight Show.
Oh.
People were just going crazy. People were calling the cable company and saying, whatever you do, fix it and fix it now. And they still don't know what happened.
Cool.
Woman called up and said, I was sitting there with a box of Kleenex all set to say goodbye, to cry my eyes out, and the darn cable went out.
That's terrible. That was a good program,
That's
too.
bad. That's bad timing, though.
Yes, it is.
You know, when you lose your cable, when you're tuning in to watch something specifically.
Yeah, there was an article on the ratings on the final Tonight Show. Obviously huge, and it was the most watched Tonight Show by far.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It says
55 million people.
55 million people, and the previous record was 45 million.
However, it's not the highest rated.
I don't even understand what you just
More
said.
people, but not the highest rated.
Okay.
Yeah. If you read that article, you'll see it explained also.
Okay. Why don't you explain it to us?
Well, it's just that there are more people with TV sets now.
Oh.
More homes have TV sets now. So
Okay.
the
So more
ratings
people watched it.
Yeah,
So
more people.
percentage-wise.
More people watch it, but not the highest rated Tonight Show ever. Right?
Got it.
That's still the Tiny Tim one.
Okay.
But I guess it's finally over, and we can finally shut up about it.
I'm sure he feels that way, too.
Well, Johnny was making so many jokes about it at the end of last week. He's like, the good news is you'll never have to hear my name again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
That would be nice.
Let's talk about this guy. Police summoned to a pre-med student's eviction found half a human head in a plastic bag. He is Jason Poluk, 22, charged with possession of stolen property when his landlord found the head after evicting the man from his apartment in New York.
What is it like if you're a landlord and you go in and you say, you're out of here? By the way, is that a human head?
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. That's just...
Doesn't it seem like there ought to be something to charge him with besides possession of stolen property?
I was just going to say, that's an odd charge.
Is there a charge such as possession of half a head?
Well, I don't know.
Is that in the law anywhere?
Is it illegal?
I guess he probably, if he's a pre-med student, he probably ripped it off from wherever he was interning or
From
something.
the school, yeah, that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That seems weird. You ought to be able to charge somebody with possession of a human head. I mean, you'd think. It sounds bad to me. I don't know. Sounds like maybe perhaps there ought to be a law.
There may
against
not be a specific law,
Well, that's true. Maybe they need to put one in now.
Like, you're not allowed to have body parts on the premises or something like
exactly,
that.
or in the refrigerator.
Although they didn't have that Dahmer clause in the lease where it specifically said you cannot have human body parts in the apartment. So I think the landlord is just being picky. As far as I'm concerned.
Lethal Weapon, huge. $87 million they're saying it made. So far in 2 weekends. That isn't bad.
No.
Considering most movies never make $87 million. For one movie to make $87 million is pretty good.
So it has officially now eclipsed Rockadoodle?
I saw Lethal Weapon 3.
Am I right about that?
I saw Far and Away.
Yeah.
And I saw Alien 3.
Gee.
All over the weekend.
I'm going to see Far and Away today. Did you like it?
You will love it.
Kevin,
Oh,
that was a
good.
big mistake seeing all three this weekend, though. Because those are the only 3 movies of worth seeing.
I know, that's true.
Out for the next month.
Next weekend I'm going to go, what do you want to see? I don't know. We already saw that.
We
I
saw
don't know.
that,
We already
and
saw that.
You need to the things are so bad right now, you almost need to space them out. Like, I'll go see one this weekend, one next weekend.
You will dig Far and Away.
Good.
It's a total chick movie?
Total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
It's pretty slow. That's my problem with it as a
Really?
man, but Joellen loved it, so
Okay.
you'll like it.
In Utah, apparently sheriff's deputies are looking for a truck driver who, when last seen, was driving a truck carrying 43,000 pounds of frozen turkeys. They can't find him or the truck.
Cool.
Now,
Or the turkeys.
What are his plans? You know what I mean? What's he doing?
It sounds sick to me. I can't imagine.
Oh, by the way, I sat next to Anthony Perkins. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
From Psycho?
Yeah.
Sat next to him.
Really? At the theater?
Sat right in front of him.
Neat.
That's a
Were you
celebrity
like a
setting.
premiere or something?
No, I was just at the Universal Cineplex Odeon.
No kidding.
The best place in the world to get to for the price of one.
Okay.
I mean, not that I did that, but if you're into that, you can do it pretty easily.
Farmer Elwood Liggett hoeing in Hume, Montana. You're dying to see where this story goes. Found an engagement ring that had been lost for 43 years out in the yard. One of those little, just kind of special interests.
Was it his or was it someone else's?
I guess it was 43 years. Yeah,
It was his own engagement
I
ring?
guess his wife's maybe.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
And she had lost.
43 years, and I understand they'll be on the Jay Leno show tonight.
You want to know the strange, twisted part, though, is it was still on her finger.
Had he kept digging, he would have found half a human head.
And then he went around to the other side of the car.
And there, hanging from the passenger car door, was
A hook.
a hook.
All right, you want a bad weekend? Truck driver John Shane, since you're coming up with the little weirdness, said he feared no one would rescue him after his flatbed collided head-on with a car. He was carrying 250 beehives, each containing 30,000 bees. And he was stuck. It took him 3 hours to get him loose.
And he was stuck in the truck?
And in the
Bees were loose?
In the meantime, the bees were loose.
No
And
way.
he got stung like hundreds of times. He's still okay. But several of the officers that were trying to get him out got stung, too.
Oh, that's awful.
Can you even imagine? You know, why don't you go to that accident? I've got stuff to do because there are bees.
Amazing.
6:14, we have a lot more to get to. We have Miss Universe coming in today. Miss
Aw,
Namibia.
man.
This is kind of
You
a
guys.
regulation stop now for Miss Universes.
They have to stop-
Apparently.
they have to stop by here. I mean, it's not our choice, but if it has to be done,
Someone
it
has to do it.
Absolutely. And we have Billy Idol and Pearl Jam coming up. Let's get a first look at traffic here this morning with Lisa May.
And pretty quiet so far. Southbound side of the 5, the Santa Ana Freeway past 4th Street. That is the scene of a wreck off to the right shoulder. No injuries involved. On the northbound 5 past Pioneer Boulevard, stalled out cars being cleared out of traffic lanes. And complicating the drive just a bit on the 91 freeway is some light rain that's been falling between Cerritos and the Chino Hills area. And heavy fog's been reported along the 14 as you make your way through the Agua Dulce area. This Metro Traffic Report is brought to you by the Automobile Club of Southern California. Turn your home into a clubhouse. It's easy with homeowners or condo insurance through the Auto Club. You'll get personalized service and coverages. Call your local office for details. I'm Lisa May at 6:15 on KROQ.
Well, it's a beautiful morning.
Trevin News.
It's the world-famous KROQ 106.7 KROQ. Kevin and Bean at about 6:26. So I watched The Tonight Show last night. I know you're tired of hearing about it, but there are a lot of people who didn't get a chance to see it.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
And I'm here to tell you right now that he's got, you know how Johnny had a picture of, was it Burbank behind him? Another big portrait? Was
I
that?
thought it was the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, it was a generic cityscape or something.
Yeah. Jay Leno has,
Hey, Big Leo.
Hi, guys.
Jay Leno has something that's, we're going to have to take a poll. We should do a contest right now and have people call up how long it's going to be before he changes it. Because it's so bad.
Now, you say that because did you sense universal hate of the thing? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I said the crowd was going, hey, Jay. No. No. But it's, you know, it's just, there's blue, and I didn't even know it was water at first. I thought it was a scene from Dune. I thought he took the movie Dune and freeze framed one
Well, I
of the
thought
frames.
Dune was in the desert.
Well, that's what I thought
Oh,
it
I
was.
see, yeah.
I couldn't figure out. I thought it was the desert for a while, and then Billy Crystal made some reference to the water, and then I thought, oh yeah, that is water. So there's like blue water.
Yeah, I think it's Malibu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I read.
And then the hills behind it are somehow blue, and then the sky is kind of blue.
Now, I read that he has a little toy train set and little cars that go up and down.
Now that one I must not have stuck around long enough for.
I didn't see
Because
that
that's
either.
I heard.
That's what I read in the
heard
paper is
too.
that lights, you know, some sort of lights that can flick on and off.
You mean on the backside?
On the backside,
See, that
yeah.
part I didn't see, but I'm telling you right now, that is just the ugliest thing that I've ever
It's
seen.
just, it's too blue.
Yeah.
I mean,
ever.
how much bluer could you make it?
You got water,
And the
you
answer
got
is
land.
None.
None.
None more blue.
None more blue.
It's as blue as blue can be.
Right.
I mean, if they were to take out the color blue, there would be nothing.
I understand.
That's the point.
As blue as it gets.
It's a little too blue.
Right.
So we might have to start that contest and find out how long it's going to be, or maybe suggestions for a new backdrop. That's what we ought to do.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
And then that Squishy the Clown came out after the second commercial.
See, no, I missed
After
that
we
part.
let him go,
I missed that part too.
he traded up.
I like the idea of doing a top 10 list on suggestions for Jay Leno's new backdrop.
Well, let's do that.
Because let me tell you, Cindy Crawford.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Wouldn't you
Naked,
watch
you
that
mean.
show every night if there was like Cindy Crawford in the backdrop?
You know what I would have her doing is I would have just a white sheet, and every 30 seconds she would sprint by naked. And every 30 seconds you'd try to make out what you saw. You'd go back and you'd hit pause.
I think they need to show the bikini open on a screen right behind Jay.
See, the point is that if you're not interested in the guest, and you're not interested in blue, then you'll tune away.
Sure, yeah.
But if you're not interested in the guest and there's Cindy Crawford or someone there, then
boom.
perhaps.
You need models running naked behind you.
I'm telling you that you need something.
Everything needs that.
He had 3 guests on last night. He had Billy Crystal, who was pretty funny. He sang a song for him.
You can tell they were pulling out the big guns when Billy Crystal was your first guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise is tonight.
Yeah.
But then they had Shanice, who's a 19-year-old
pop singer.
pop R&B singer.
Yeah.
I guess it's pop, isn't it? It's not really R&B.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, and then they had a financial expert on. So that was his...
But she performed live, and it was quite good.
She did perform
Johnny
live.
used to say, Don, let's work out something. I won't do any more Carson. But he was afraid of people performing live.
Right.
But she
That was the first
great.
thing I looked for. The first thing I looked for is she lip-syncing that song? And she wasn't.
I don't know her songs, but I understand from what I read about her is that she's one of these women who has like a 5-octave range.
Well,
I mean, she's supposed to be up there in Mariah Carey land.
She
where
made
like
the
only
mistake-
sheep can hear her.
Of her second song, she sang Loving You by Minnie Riperton.
Oh, yeah.
That's
is
a show-off song.
The world's most annoying song. And she went ahead and sang it.
Did she hit the notes?
Yes. And I hit Miller. I turned on Dennis
Wow.
Miller for the last 2 minutes of the song.
She is amazing, though, because she's 19 years old. I mean, what kind of a gig is it to be on Jay Leno's first show when you're 19?
That's true, yeah.
For anything.
First show, yeah.
When she hit the high note, how many eyeglasses in the audience broke?
Well, I don't know, but Dennis Miller made a pretty funny joke. At that time, Dennis Miller was throwing a hatchet at a man's silhouette, and it hit
hit him right
the
in the
crotch,
groin?
and it looked like an erect penis.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, what was the backdrop behind Dennis Miller?
I believe it was
Sidney Crawford,
Carol
I think.
Alt running by naked
I like it.
Carol Alt.
with NHL superstar Ron Greshner chasing her.
Well, let's make that our top 10 list for today. We just sort of came up with that.
Okay.
That wasn't going to be it, but if you want to call them in, you can do that at 520-764 or 977-1067, or you can fax them in at 5201-FAX. Jay Leno should drop that backdrop, and what should he put there instead?
I feel so bad for Jay. He's taken over the biggest job in TV, and already the day after his first show, yahoos are on telling him he's doing it wrong.
Well, I guess I should say...
I mean, I feel really bad even being a part of this.
I guess I should say that he did a pretty decent show. Then, just to
It
appease
was.
you.
He's-
That was a decent... He is Jay Leno, and you
Yeah.
knew what to expect, and you got it.
He's on course. He just needs some minor rudder corrections right
Exactly.
now. Right out of port.
Exactly. He's full steam ahead,
Yeah.
and he's leaving the port, but he's just veering a little bit.
I think
Let me
the,
just add that.
I'm sorry, hold on. Can we get that sound effect again?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ship's horn, everybody.
if you want to hear the ship's horn, press 1 on your touch-tone phone. If you want to hear his Johnny Carson, press 2. I think the best, here's the way to sum it up, is that the baton has been passed, not fumbled. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
So that's the top 10.
Analogy, man.
At the usual numbers, did you give these?
I did.
Okay.
I already
You can
gave
fax them in. It's good for concert tickets, or fax or call, either one.
All right, we're going to come back in a couple of minutes with Sinead O'Connor and Erasure and a lot more.
Well, what are you talking about as if the Tonight Show is skippered by Captain Hazelwood or something?
Yeah. Well, it just seems to us that there's going to have to come a time when he realizes that's too much blue.
Oh, okay.
Blue is good, but water, mountain, sky, all blue.
Do you want to hear what he thinks about the first show?
Please.
It seemed for a live show, and all seemed to go relatively glitch-free, and we got to do some new ideas, new camera angles, new, things that sort of, it's a bit like buying a house and then kind of remodeling and stuff, it's still the same house on the outside, but you get to put your personal touches and changes into it, so it's exciting.
Yeah, but who's your decorator?
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
I agree with him.
Onward.
632.
Black and Korean tensions in L.A. developed over years. Monday's meeting won't cure things overnight. What's significant, though, is a Korean-American Grocers Association meeting at which they agreed in principle, not with some city task force, but directly with representatives of Crips and Bloods gangs, that the two sides will literally work together. with shop owners agreeing to hire African Americans, even gangbangers, as management and perhaps security personnel. Gang members saying they might back up the hiring commitments, long a sore point in ethnic relations with their own guardian angel type patrols for Koreatown and South Central. There are concerns about legitimizing gangs within the city's power structure, but since the Ira Reiner report claiming 150,000 gang members in the county, they're rather hard to ignore. Thousands of students may protest today in Sacramento. They're from the Cal State University system. They are protesting again cuts and fee increases, but probably to no avail. The state says the money's not there. U.S. politics includes 3 more primaries today. California's is next Tuesday. People here keep talking about Perot, despite the predictable stories from opponents that he may be dictatorial, inexperienced, or both. His main attraction to voters, he is not Bush, he is not Clinton. In Salt Lake City, the Republican Party Platform Committee will hear plenty of arguments today, but is not likely to repeal its anti-abortion platform plank. Is genetically engineered produce some kind of mutant food? Is it good for you or bad for you? All we know is it's probably going to be legal.
New rules set to be made public by the government this morning would allow biotechnology firms to sell genetically altered fruits and vegetables, such as a tomato that developers say tastes just like the best homegrown vine-ripened ones.
What they're going to be able to do with this tomato is harvest it when it's red, as opposed to being green, to be able to ship it to the market. And the tomato will hold its properties for about 10 days to 2 weeks.
Alan Goldhammer is with the Industrial Biotechnology Association, but genetic engineering skeptics warn the government's opening a Pandora's box by allowing sales of produce that have been altered in the lab.
In Moscow, a constitutional court is meeting. That in itself is something new. They're going over a lot of old ground. Since 1917, the Communist Party committed, no doubt, a multitude of sins. We're learning about some of them as the party tries to overturn Boris Yeltsin's decree banning them.
I'm Masha Hamilton in Moscow. Yeltsin's government is fighting back by releasing sensational documents which show the Soviet Union supplied weapons to Palestinian terrorists to attack American and Israeli targets. The release of the document confirms Western suspicions that the Soviet Union was aiding terrorists. Yeltsin is hoping the documents will help convince the court he acted properly in outlawing the Communist Party here and taking over its property.
The Dodgers lose 6 hours of surgery for the broken bones of Angel manager Buck Rogers. And today in L.A., drizzle ending, highs in the 70s. I'm Doc on the Rock. Present.